The spirit of good, however, is a little different than the spirit of evil, pure evil. And we see so many examples of that, but what the hell is good? I would say that there are a great many people on this planet that don't believe in a creator or a God or anything good, simply because there is negativity, Luciferian consciousness on the planet. Its very existence threatens, for some, the very idea that good could even exist. After all, look at all the evil in the world. Look at all the corruption. Look at all of the people getting hurt. People are often asking, where is the justice? Where is the justice? How do you know already with your maybe possible low opinions of humanity at large? How do you know that you have all the answers? As we look at all the others and say, look at all these sheeple. Look at all these people that are asleep. Oh, we're so awake. Oh, the evil. Oh, the evil and the Dr. Evils of the world. Oh my God. What me worry? Why hast thou forgotten me? Like we're Jesus Christ or something, on the cross. Oh, why, how? Oh, art thou? Where art thou? Where art thou? I think you need to question the truthfulness, by the way, of some of these spiritual texts. The life of Jesus, according to other spiritual texts that humanity has been blessed to come across, is much more expansive than the version we've been given in the New Testament. That's all I'm going to say on that. So before you start assuming someone doesn't believe in Jesus because they don't believe your particular theology or that your book has all the truths of the world, think twice. Take my advice. Think twice. And if you are that passionate about Jesus Christ, that you start asking for the whole story. But it brings us over here to where we need to be, at center. There are so many spiritual texts throughout the whole of human history. And knowing what they say, knowing that there are many spiritual texts that are there to remind us that we have these innate powers, that we have been gifted with certain abilities and attributes thanks to the Creator. And when we throw those gifts and attributes back at the Creator or say that they don't exist, you're not doing yourself a favor. You're not doing yourself a favor. If you remain steadfast in your dedication to telling yourself that you have no power, then unless you say things a certain way or in a certain tongue, that you're going to be damned eternally in some arbitrary place. When what you ought to be looking at, in my opinion, is the hellish aspects of this particular domain. And ask yourself, how the fuck do we get out of here? Instead of sitting there crying and sobbing with snot coming down your nose as to how scared you are, how bothered you are, fill in the blank here. X, Y, Z. Put threat to physical survival here. That's not conscious to not understand why we're in this circumstance. And spirit of good protects the spirit of good or consciousness for those that are upset by the concept of goodness. That there can be something opposed to death and destruction and murder. There is good and evil in this realm. There are angels of light and there are angels and armies of angels of darkness. And yet there is this idea that good and bad is an illusion, and in some ways it is very relative when you're looking at it from the point of observation, point of perspective of mankind. If that's good, that's bad. That's spiritual, that's done with the Creator, and that's done with Shaitan and the devil. We have lots of judgments in the society. But let me just say this, I'm not a religious person. I was not born to be a Muslim, but I can tell you right now there is some very profound spiritual information in the Quran, but I feel the Quran is misinterpreted by some Muslims. And we're not just talking about the violent ones, we're talking about fundamentalist thinking, but that comes with being human. That's not a side effect of being Christian or a Muslim or this or that. That's a side effect of being human. That's a symptom of being a low conscious, low vibrational human. Symptoms including promoting fascistic, fundamentalist belief systems and worldviews that are consistent with the concept and fallacy that mankind is weak and needs to click his or her heels together 3 times, saying specific words or at specific times to please the Creator. And we need to be working on being closer with the Creator to the best of our ability, outside of what that book or a book that your predominant culture is telling you is the ultimate truth. The wise one has the discernment to see the spiritual truth in all the world's religions or belief systems. Discernment. To meditate on discernment. To meditate on internal knowing. On having internal sight. This is not something the majority of the human population has. Especially when they're absorbed with the spirit of evil. People are absorbed in the spirit of evil. Their consciousness is clouded. They don't see the benefit of being on the good side, of being a protector of the people, a protector of the earth against evil spirits. They don't understand that. It's not something that makes sense to them because they're not yet at that level. It doesn't mean that they're all evil. It means they're not yet at the level where they identify with goodness, with the spirit of the earth, with the spirit of humanity. If they're only viewing their life as something that affects them, or that the world is something that should only be looked at if it affects them directly, from this selfish, self-centered worldview, they can become absorbed in the evil. And the evil will speak to them. Oh, only be concerned with yourself and what you're going to get out of this. People that talk about spirit are weird. They're strange. They're not to be trusted. They might be extreme. Their thinking may be flawed, which means other aspects of them may be flawed. You may want to take precaution when dealing with such extremists. And conspiracy theorists today are called extremists. And what are conspiracy theorists doing? Well, they're calling out the centralized systematic evil. So conspiracy theory and people with spiritual views and whatnot, they're really connected in a big, big way. Truly spiritual people are calling out the evil forces of our realm. Well, so are quote-unquote conspiracy analysts and researchers. One world government, surveillance society, wars without end, genetically modified food, which does what? Which affects the health of humans, which affects our temple. By what? Putting something with a tampered genetic code into our body? That's the master plan of El Diablo. And that's what Lucifer's been trying to do for a long time. Fuck with life, man. Creating different hybrids, seeing what works, seeing what doesn't work. And certain things are simply not allowed, so it seems. Otherwise, they would have already had their Lord of the Rings style gargoyles or goyams or fill-in term for demon here already unleashed upon the earth. At least that's one way of looking at it. But there is a suspicion that I have that they are working to complete what they think is their destiny. There is something more to our existence than what is taking place in the physical body. There is something to what is taking place spiritually. And the spirit of good understands this, that this is not just about what takes place in the body, but there are people that have been so affected by the spirit of evil. That doesn't mean that they themselves are evil. We have certain thinking systems that are very popular in today's society, and I'm trying to smash those belief systems to the best of my ability by planting seeds. But I got to tell you, you got to get outside the box of black and white. And I'm not talking about black people and white people. I mean all or nothing, yes or no, left and right, here to here. There are shades of what we call gray. Not all of life is all left or right, paradigm-ish. You know what I mean? It's not just about politics. You understand. You understand there's more to life than Democrats or Republicans. Take that understanding of there being more to life than what you think is good and bad, and there are shades of gray. And while I think there are fundamental good things and bad things, protecting people, good. Hurting and eating other people, bad. A lot of humans don't even realize that. So they have their own arbitrary understanding of good. Oh, invading other countries and raping their women, good. Let's reward those men when they come back and celebrate them and lift them up on our chariots. And not all men in the military do such things. But for those that deny that those things have taken place, they've already been absorbed by the spirit of evil. At the same time, oh, look at those people. Those people live in a country where our country said the 9/11 attacks were planned. Let's bomb them back to the Stone Age, those evil, evil people, so us good people can live in freedom and keep those bad people from taking away our freedoms. That's a perfect example of a flawed understanding of right and wrong. The righteous, those engaged in good, they will be condemned by those engaged in wickedness, or those absorbed or influenced by the spirit of evil. They will be called bad. Oh, what do you mean you want to protect women? Oh, no, it's you that wants to hurt us women. I'll never forget being told that by a woman in a bar one night, telling her a little bit of my philosophies and some of the things I see coming in the future and some of the things that I think are important to the human species. And that was just more evidence to me, and I'll remember that moment for the rest of my life, how that evil can come in and show its teeth through even a female vessel and tell me that I am the evil one, for even trying to bring light to this. All I can say to the dark side is thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Every time you bring someone to me that verifies that I am on the path, and I'm hitting buttons that is causing rifts in their dark grid. The very fact that I'm even speaking about these things brings out just an angry beast. And right now it seems like that beast is pacified, that I'm able to deal with it. But there were times in my life where it was scary how angry I made people when I talked about these things. How the dark side is waging war on the human species, and how I think it's our job to speak up for those victims of war. And all those times I've been told by people, why do you care about that group? Why do you care about that group? Oh no! I'm going to put you in a box now, because I think you're weird. That is pure wickedness. And sometimes these people don't know the spirit of evil has infected them, and I forgive them and say, I think we should remain friends. And that's for my own growth. I did this recently and re-added someone back on Facebook, a certain anonymous person that said certain things that hurt me very much. Maybe he'll watch this video, maybe he won't. But I think deep down he is good. And I know deep down I am good. And I would like to maintain this friendship with this person, even though this person said something that was horrifically offensive to me. And I know how much I am judged by people because of the things that I've said and because of the people that I care about. And that is all the people of the world. Even though I'm half from the east and half from the west, I understand now. It's my soul. This is why I am the way that I am. It's not because of where my dad's from or because of where my mom's from, because both sides of the family think I'm cuckoo. I'm fucking out to lunch. I'm cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. For the things that I talk about, for living the life that I live, of poverty, of traveling like a monk with a bowl from place to place, and being honest with people about who I am and what I'm passionate about. And I just don't fit into the box very well, hence I'm outside the box. All it is just been a great learning experience and growing experience for me to become an even better person, even more selfless, to care even less about what other people think about me or what they're going to say about me because I'm doing X, Y, and Z. Good people throughout time have been persecuted, have been burned, have been abused. And what we need to understand is that this is something that is consistent with history. And there are some of you out there that are looking for some kind of a way out in the next decade, a big shift that's going to end the systems of control. I was interviewing a guy Saturday that regurgitated some of the same bullshit that I've heard for years, that in the 80s or in recent years, that the dark ones have been removed by the planet. Yet we see all these horrific things rearing their ugly head. Some of you are familiar with the Basel attacks. That had nothing to do with Basel. That was the spirit of evil showing itself during the Venus transit of the summer of 2012. Google Venus transit and the energetic effects that may or may not have on the planet. Look at the information surrounding that and transits coming into our planet and the change that it brings and the strange behavior that we see from people that act as if they're possessed. So as David Icke says, the greatest prison is the fear of what other people will think about you. That's probably one of the most powerful quotes from David Icke ever, bar none. No competition. How do we absorb that into our lives? I know for Alex Yancey how I absorb that into my life. It's doing what I'm doing right now. But what do you do? What do you do to escape the greatest prison, which is what other people will think about you? That is a really core part of being in line with the spirit of evil. Doing what's right regardless of what he, she, or they are saying about you.